You are going to speak Japanese, get a high-paying job, get a visa in Japan to stay as long as you want, and an apartment to live the peaceful life you always wanted. Pay attention because in the next 30 seconds, I'm gonna explain to you step by step how my team is gonna guide you every step of the way to make all this possible. I'm Sacha, the director of Doki Doki Japan, and here we help true fans of Japan and Japanese culture to accomplish their dream of living in Japan through our program Ryukaisen. The first step is the language, and here you will get certified on the Noken or JLPT, which is mandatory to be able to apply for jobs in Japan. The second phase is job and visa. And in this phase, we're gonna train you how to build your CV for Japanese companies, how to have a successful interview with Japanese companies, where to find that dream job, and after all that, we will manage the visa for you. And the third phase is housing. And here, we're gonna make sure that you find a nice apartment, cozy, close to your job, so you can live that peaceful life that you're looking for. In addition to all this, you will have access to a community in which you will make friends to study, contacts for your trip, which will serve to boost your professional career. And all this program is guaranteed by contract that if it doesn't work for you, we're gonna refund 100% of your money. You wanna know exactly how it works? Okay, stay for 2 minutes and I go in detail on how it works. On the first phase, the language, we're gonna focus on conversation, certification, and time. Let me explain. Conversation is the key to every language. It makes no point to know how to read and write if you can't communicate with other people talking, which is the thing that you're gonna use the most in your daily basis. Mastering conversation is essential for you to land a good job in Japan, and more than that, to actually enjoy and be able to build a life in Japan. Because of that, in this program, even if it's the first time you learn Japanese or you think it's extremely difficult to pronounce, that will not be a problem. Because here you will have group and one-on-one classes. So we can make sure that you learn the language, but also have all the opportunities necessary for you to practice conversation. Now, speaking Japanese is very cool, but it's not enough for Japan. Japan is a very bureaucratic, let's say, country, so they will require you to have certain certifications in order for you to move there. For that reason, in addition to the group classes and the one-on-one classes, you will also have a special training focused on passing the test. In this training, we're gonna give you the real exam that they're gonna give you on the embassy, so you can practice that with your teacher, clear all your doubts, and when you go to the real exam, you already know what to do, so you have no problem passing that. Just like him, who passed the exam at the first attempt using this training. Time is the most important thing that you own. It's limited and it doesn't come back. Every minute that you're living right now is a minute you're missing to be in Japan enjoying that life that you want to have. And that's why we created a program that will save you time and help you to get there faster. Normally, starting to get an international certification for Japanese language in a traditional school might take you from 2 to 3 years. But in this program, you're gonna reach 1 international certification per year of study, meaning in only 4 years you can reach bilingual level of Japanese. Even if you want to rush it up, you can actually make the whole thing up to 2 years. That is actually the same speed as doing it in Japan. And you'll be able to do just like Pablo, who had his first certification of Japanese language within 1 year and studying only twice a week. Okay, at this point, we already know Japanese, you have your certification, super excited and happy. Now, what's next? Well, next is phase 2. And here, if you remember, we're gonna take care of job and visa. So we're gonna start for your CV. Now, this is very important. Your CV in Japan is nothing like the CV in the West. We have to create it from scratch or adapt it to Japanese companies. Once you have it, we're gonna go deep into your interview skills. So the job hunters, we're gonna end up hiring you and not the guy next to you. And don't worry, even if you get nervous for interviews, we're gonna teach you exactly, word by word, everything you need to say. So now you have your CV, you know how the interview goes, and now you need to get interviews. So we're gonna tell you exactly what are the job portals that you have to use, plus we're gonna give you our own. And that's not all, because we have contacts in Japan that connects our students with real job opportunities. Just like they help Javier to find a job as a marketing manager in Japan and travel there with all his family, I'm sure they can help you. Now you have your job, so the next step is your visa. And the last thing you want is, after you manage to get to Japan, have to be pushed back and back to your country. For that reason, we're gonna manage the visa for you. Just like Joaquin, who Maxi managed his visa for him, and now he's living in Osaka, Japan. Okay, so you speak Japanese, you have your CV interview, you have your job, you have your visa. So now we have to make sure that you just don't live under the bridge, because that's not a fun thing to do. So many times to most of our students, we can manage to get you special deals with a great discount on the apartment. Meaning, when I was living in Japan, I had up to 80% cover on my rental fee. Maxi, he had 50%. My girlfriend, she had 100%. So yes, that means she was living for free. If implementing these 3 phases, you do not manage to live in Japan, we're gonna refund 100% of your money. First, because, well, that's the way that you get a job in Japan. We already did it, we know how it's done, we already face all the problems and inconvenient situations that you may imagine, and we have created and designed this program to face them all. And second of all, because we do not do this process alone. Let me explain. We lived in Japan for several years. We worked and studied there for a long time. We have created and cultivated good and deep relationships with different schools and companies in Japan, who today allow us to connect our students with different job opportunities in Japan. But not just that, they actually tell us to tell you how is the process done. What is exactly the Japanese you need to learn for the daily basis and for job and for business? What is the CV you need to present to them? How is the interview you need to have so you can actually get a job in Japan? Where you have to find those jobs, how to make your visa, how to get an apartment. They give us the information and now we're giving it to you. This process works even if it's your first time to Japanese, you have no idea about the language, you have no idea about the visas or how to apply for jobs, or no previous experience in anything related to it. And also for different careers. It doesn't matter if you're an IT engineer, web developer, programming, architecture, design, international business, translator, or anything else. It doesn't really matter because the process is the same one that universities in Japan use to help their students to find jobs. So if you see that this process makes sense, we work with the right people, and this can actually help you to achieve your goal of living in Japan, then click the link below and book a call with one of our experts. I want to clarify something. We only take students that we are 100% sure that we can help them to actually live in Japan. We cancel about 80% of the applicants, and that is because most of the people who apply don't actually fit with the profile we're looking for. So in your case, if we can't help you, we're going to tell you step by step everything you need to do to reapply later. But if we can, then we're going to explain step by step how everything works, and if it makes sense, then you can start right away. After booking a call, you're going to receive an email with a video with about 10 to 15 minutes long that is going to explain you a little bit more in detail everything that we do and how it works. So make sure to watch that video. Here you will see different examples like Javier, who's a marketing manager living in Japan with his family in Tokyo. You can also see Joaquin, who is a chef living in Osaka, Guillermo, who's a lawyer also in Osaka, or Felipe, who is an engineer living in Tokyo. So now you know. Book a call with us to evaluate your case and see that if, like them, you can also apply and go and live in Japan.